Right. I honestly think we've accomplished a ton in this module and possibly created the world's longest Docker command. Anyway, we started out with our cluster, 3 manager nodes and 3 just regular cluster nodes, yeah? And straight away we added a CA into the mix, a certificate authority right that would be trusted by every node in the cluster and that would use to create key pairs for all of our cluster resources. And we were at like hideous pains, right, to point out that this was literally thrown together just so that those of you that don't have access to certificates and the likes can follow along. Anyway, first order of business after all of that was to create a key pair for the CA. Then we used that to create and sign a key pair for each of the nodes in our infrastructure. Then we distributed those keys out. Every node getting a copy of the CA's public key, so its certificate, yeah, and every node also getting its own dedicated key pair. And as well, it was important when creating the certificate signing request for each node that we used its correct hostname, otherwise it wouldn't work. Then, once the keys were installed or copied to each node, we configured the various Docker components to use TLS. So we configured every engine daemon in the cluster, and we also started brand new swarm managers configured for TLS. And last, but definitely not least, we configured our Docker client here to use TLS. All of this put our cluster in a situation where all communications, so from client to swarm manager and from swarm manager to engine daemons, was all secured with TLS. But no, we didn't secure our discovery service, and don't hate me for that, right? It's just, it would have been a bit console specific, and I don't want to overly focus on console, because, well, for a couple of reasons actually. I mean, etcd and Zookeeper, they're also great, but none of them are the focus of this course. So yeah, that was it. And you know what, looking back it seems quite simple, but it really was a great achievement, and something I think that is a vital piece of knowledge for deploying in production in the real world. Okay, well, next up, we're going to start deploying some containers to the cluster, and we'll see how filtering can help us.